So part 2 on the Lil Nas X and the prayers that we should have for our enemies, because Lil Nas X is not an ally until he actually truly sincerely repents in his ways, right? Because a lot of people will say with their mouth that they believe in God and whatnot, but their hearts are far from him, right? So again, it's like that's literally a wolves in sheep's clothing, and I just don't want any believers to fall for that whole again, soft pacifist type of mentality where it's like, oh, well, we should just pray for him. It's like, yeah, well, what kind of prayers, right? Because when I get into this, you'll see that David in Psalms was not just praising God. He wasn't just regarding God, the Most High. He wasn't just, pleading, but he was also praying wrath upon his enemies. He was casting down his enemies. He was praying that God break the teeth of his enemies, right? Who have swords of tongues, you know what I mean? And tongues of swords and sharp lips, and, are just making noises of dogs in the streets, going about the city, saying crazy things, blaspheming God, blaspheming the Spirit. It's like, no, I'm not going to give you a hug, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to show any signs of agreement with you. Go stand over there and do what you got to do, bro. Like, you already represent Satan. You're doing your thing. Go over there. Like, you don't need to be over here around us who are trying to do good and seek the Most High. And that doesn't make me better than Lil Nas X, right? Because if I had the same influences and if I had the same mentality and open myself up to the same things as him, I could be just as dead in the water as he is. I could be just as set forth to be part of those people who are just consumed in the fire when Christ comes back. It says, like, when his light shines, there's going to be, hundreds and thousands of burnt people, burnt to stubble. So anyways, so I was reading the book of Job, and this is, again, just backbone encouragement. So I was reading the book of Job, and that book is crazy, first of all, but I eventually got to Job 4, 9, and 10, where Eliphaz, which was one of Job's friends, was speaking life into Job about how he's been an encourager and an uplifter for many, and how now that he's been touched with calamity, he seemed to have forgotten his confidence, right? His fear of God. And not in the sense that Job was sinning, because Job, actually very admirable, lost everything. And instead of using his words even to sin against God, he didn't do that, right? He instead praised God and was like, I came with nothing, I shall leave with nothing. Praise God, the Most High, man, who can take away and give all. So, beautiful thing. But anyways, in 4:7, he asked, Eliphaz asked Job if the innocent ever perished, right? Where were the righteous cut off? Then he starts speaking on the end of the wicked sowers and plowers of iniquity being the same. Again, sowers and plowers of iniquity. What does that mean? There are people out here who are literally set on a mission from Satan. Otherwise, he's going to take away everything that they have as far as in their worldly treasures, which is why I say a rich man is not likely to make it into heaven, right? It's more likely for a camel to be driven through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to make it into heaven. Why is that? Because the rich man already thinks he's in heaven, right? I have all these things, etc., etc. Not that every rich person has a covenant with Satan, but specifically, I'm talking to Lil Nas X and these celebrities. Even what's her name? Not so sexy red, put herself out there where she was saying that, like, yeah, man, people asking if I sold my soul to the devil. I'm gonna be real with y'all, like, I am, and Satan's just coming out now. Like, it's just coming out. Like, yeah, I've sold my soul, and it's just I'm making too much money now. And then she moves on to start talking about how she wants Balenciaga. She just came from a Balenciaga party, and that's what she wants now. And it's like, again, their eyes are already wrapped up with what fool's gold, right? You're a fool. You're falling for the things of this earth when it's like this earth is passing away, right? Especially nowadays. Like, you are a complete fool if you're falling for the things of this earth. It's all passing away. Most riches that you can gain right now is to build your tabernacle, to build your relationship with the Most High, man, and drive that home. Like, that's all that really matters, I'm so, like, aloof to, like, life and I'm just so focused on the Most High at this point, because, again, this is all coming to an end. But again, if you don't work, you don't eat. So keeping that in mind. But these are sowers, so they're planting seeds in hopes of what? A harvest, right? Of more heathens and people who are following their ways. So again, be careful with this Lil Nas X thing. But anyways, it says, verse 4:9, by the blast of God they perish, by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. The roaring of the lion and voice of the fierce lion and teeth of the young lions are broken. That took me to Psalms 58, where David is pretty much reproving the wicked, right? And 58 verse 6, it says, break their teeth, O God, in their mouth. that means he not even worried about them swallowing their own teeth, bro. Like, this is his prayer towards the wicked, to God on behalf of the wicked. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Lord. Let them melt away as waters which run continually when he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrow. So again, these people are archers shooting arrows at us, and we're talking about hugging them. Nah, bro. Let them melt away as the waters which run continually when he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows. Let them be as cut in pieces. It goes even harder. As a snail, verse 8, as a snail which melteth, let every one of them pass away, the wicked, like the untimely birth of a woman that may not see the sun. So that precepted me back to Job 3:16, where Job is cursing his birth pretty much in his existence. And he was wishing that he had never been born, because then and there is where he would be at rest. So Job 3:16, it says, or as in hidden untimely birth I had not been, as infants which never saw the light. So basically stillborns or prematures that didn't make it. There the wicked cease from troubling, right? So that's where the wicked can't reach me if I'm already gone and I'm with the Most High. And there the weary are at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in soul, which longeth for death, but it cometh not, and dig for it more than for hid treasure. Right? So this is like how badly, there's so many verses, again, it's like that softness, I don't understand it. I mean, I get it, like there's love involved in the mixture, but even in Ecclesiastes, it's a time for love, there's a time for hate. There's a time to embrace, there's a time to refrain from embracing, right? So it's not always this love. And again, even so, it's like, if it is love, it's not love in the sense to where God sees it, right? God's love is very different. Hence the fact he killed his only begotten son in the most brutal way for us, right? Who weren't even here yet. And even when we got here, we're born sinners by default, and then we find our way back to the Most High as he reels us back in, right? And there were times even in my life where it's like I cursed at God, I cursed towards God because I was going through things that I just couldn't understand, you know what I mean? But then soon enough, again, I fell deeper, and then eventually the Most High brought me back up, and I'm still in that process. So anyways, which rejoice exceedingly and are glad when they can find the grave. Next verse is Job searching for answers. He says, why is light given to a man whose way is hid, and whom God hath hedged in? So that precepted me to chapter 19, verse 8, and it says, he hath fenced up my way that I cannot pass, and he hath set darkness in my paths. That took me to precept Psalms 88, verse 8, where David is grieving in complaint to the Most High, and he says, thou hast put away mine acquaintance far from me. Thou hast made me an abomination unto them. I am shut up, and I cannot come forth. So that took me to where in Luke 23 verse 49, where Christ had literally just gave up his soul on the cross, and it says, all his acquaintances and women that followed him from Galilee stand afar off, beholding these things. And then that took me further, where David in Psalms 38:11 said, my lovers and my friends stand aloof from my sword, and my kinsmen stand afar off. So just going back to, again, Psalms 58 verse 9, after 8, David prayed to the Most High for his enemies to pass away like a stillborn, like I said earlier. And then it says, before your pots can feel the thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, both living and in wrath. Right? So that whirlwind in Revelations, in Edris as well too, it talks about how there's going to be tempest and fire, right? So it's going to be like a firestorm that God's going to sweep the wicked up with, right? So that itself is just nuts. But anyways, before they can even feel the heat though, he's like, let them already be gone before they even realize what's happening to them. These are the prayers that David is praying over the wicked, right? It's like, we're not supposed to be befriending these people. Like like I said, they've made their decision, and they continue to make their decision. And I hope that they seek the Most High and they come back around. But until further notice, like, kick rocks, bro. You know what I mean? So anyways, I got more to share, so I'll probably do a part 3. Love you guys.